Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I recently put this poll up in on the community tab of my channel, and I said, which project do you want a video update on? Overwhelmingly, 38 of you voted. 53% said you wanted an update video on drip. Someone else said in a previous poll, 74 of you said you wanted more info, more content about passive income strategies. That's going to be coming to you in another video as well. I've got several new passive income strategies I'll be talking about, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel. All right, so let's talk about drip. So I haven't spoke about drip in a while, and the main reason I haven't spoke about drip is because I don't make friends either side. So there's people who hate drip, people who like drip, and the one thing that they both have in common is neither one of them like my channel. Because the people who love drip say that I'm, too negative about drip, or I'm not positive enough, and the people who don't like drip say that I'm not negative enough, or that I'm too positive about drip, and I get accused of being a drip shill and that sort of thing. So in this video, I'm going to give you an update on where I'm at with drip. I always believe in being objective. I share the good, the bad, the ugly. I try not to get emotional about a project when I discuss it. So I'm going to do my best to give you an update on where I was at with drip and see, since my last video, was I wrong about drip? I'm also going to talk to you about my current drip strategy going forward in this video, and I'm going to talk about when I take out profits, where I'm investing those profits right now. Which passive income opportunity am I investing those profits in right now? I'll be discussing that a little later in the video as well. Quick shout out over here to the Crypto Cat. The Crypto Cat has been a member of my community, our community, however you want to say it, for a really long time. He's been a subscriber for a long time. He's in Telegram. I consider him a personal friend, but he is absolutely a drip evangelist. The guy has never withdrawn one drip out of his wallet since he's been in drip, and it's been months and months and months, and I don't think there's very many people that can say that. So if you want someone who's very positive about drip, definitely come over here, check out his channel, subscribe as I have done as well. But he's 100% positive on board with drip. And what I like about him the most is when we've had personal conversations through Telegram, I have, shared with him my thoughts. He can listen to what I have to say, and he can share with me his thoughts. I can listen to what he has to say. We can, like adults, agree to disagree, and it doesn't affect our opinion of one another personally. That is rare in this society, but I think that's what we need in crypto, and I think we have some of that in crypto, and I hope that we continue to foster that type of community long term. All right, let's get into this, because everybody's tribalistic. Why do you got to be tribalistic? All right, at the end of the day, we're all pro crypto. We want crypto to win. Let's go over here. The previous video I did, I was talking about my drip price prediction going forward. Now, if you haven't seen this video, I recommend you go watch it. It's 8 minutes long, and I'm talking about where I thought drip would go. In this video, I'm going to tell you if I'm right or wrong based on that prediction. But what I was showing right here, and we'll go look at this more updated version of this. This was the faucet, the drip faucet right here. Let me make this bigger. This was the drip faucet. So drip price at one point in time spiked up. It was like, close to $200 maybe. It was way up, well over $100. And that was during this season right here. And what this was is everybody was going into the faucet. If you don't know what drip is, don't worry about it. Basically, you went into a faucet, you got 1% of your tokens back. They used to claim that it was a deflationary token, and that wasn't really fully the complete story. It was deflationary in the early stages because people were taking the token and locking them up in the faucet. But from the very beginning, the contract was always able to mint additional tokens, meaning it would be a total Ponzi scam if at some point in time the wallet ran out of tokens. It couldn't pay people back. So the wallet, the faucet address has always, or the faucet wallet, however you want to say it, that has always been able to mint additional tokens to pay people back in the actual drip token itself. Once it ran out of tokens, more tokens could be minted, and at that point in time, it would then become an inflationary token. And most of us understand that if you have a lot of inflation, then ultimately you're going to see price dip. So today we're sub $10 drip. Now, I actually thought we would be significantly lower. You can come watch this video. Now I said in 6 months, so probably November, December timeframe. I gave a specific price point on where we're at. I will tell you right now, we are doing better than my prediction. So I was partly wrong. I missed the timeline, or it looks like I may miss a timeline. I may miss a timeline. We'll have to wait and see. And this has affected my strategy going forward on how I'm investing, reinvesting, and withdrawing in drip. And I'll discuss what I've changed coming up here a little bit later in the video. And again, I'll talk to you about what else I'm investing in. But please understand, I believe that the thing that keeps people broke in crypto is our egos. I believe that we get so bought into one idea, or we get so bought into, there are a lot of people that would never invest in projects like Drip. They would never even look at it because they understand that it's either going to have to devalue the token over time without additional development. Like that is an obvious thing with the tokenomic. That is 1000% obvious. You increase circulating supply, if you increase circulating supply faster than you can increase demand, then you will always drop price. And the way the Drip token is set up is that everything that's in the faucet is going to always be compounded. And even when you max out a wallet, you can always start another wallet. So a lot of people say, well, you can't compound forever because you're going to max out a wallet. All they do is take the rewards and start a brand new wallet. So yes, it slows down some of that supply expansion, but ultimately the supply keeps expanding, keeps expanding, keeps expanding. And the supply will expand indefinitely with the way that the project is currently designed. So unless the developer changes up something, and I've recently heard of some new developments, I'll share those with you in a moment. Unless the developer changes something that's going to lock up the circulating supply, then the supply will continue to grow. And there will always be a limit on demand. There's only so many humans on the planet. So if somehow, Drip got mass adopted, at some point there's only so many humans on the planet, but the supply will continue to expand. Therefore, the price will continue to long-term over time, medium-term over time will continue to drop. I mean, when I did this video, the price was just under $10. I think it's like $9 and some change. And now we're sitting at $7. We've been as low as $6. We've been in that time frame. I think we're trending lower, but I told you some people would never invest in a project like Drip. But Drip has been insanely profitable for so many of us. In fact, I'll go ahead and tell you, for 2022, Drip has been probably my most profitable project on a percentage basis. Obviously, it's a high-risk project. I never went in but so large. However, on a percentage basis, it's done really, really well. And it's done really well for most people who were in before 2022. Even if you got in at the high, I think some people are starting to make profits now. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I don't know that for certain. You can let me know down in the comments if you've made profits on Drip, or if you're upside down on Drip. You can just let me know down in the comments. So with that being said, ego can keep you broke. You can think too highly of a project, or you can think a project is beneath you. You can get sold on a project. You can believe the hype. You can drink the Kool-Aid of the community, or you can look at the Kool-Aid of the community and say, hey, do I think this is a real possibility? Why do I think it is a possibility? And if I do think that it's a possibility, why might that best case scenario not happen? What could happen that would cause that best case scenario not to happen? So you got to ask questions kind of from all different sides when you look at a project. So let me show you what's happened. Let's look at this chart since then. So this is more recent time. Notice that we've never had this big growth here again. And I don't think we ever will, not in the faucet. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I don't think that will ever happen. Like, you would have to bring in is it possible? Yes, listen, it is possible. If there was a way to suddenly bring in, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times the current users of Drip, if that could happen, then a whole bunch of people could buy Drip token, price would spike, a whole bunch of people could lock up a whole bunch of tokens, and yeah, maybe we could see a big hump like this. But that is, the odds of us finding, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the current users of Drip, I don't see that happening at all. And the token supply, and the reason it would have to be 3, 4, 5 times is because the token supply is so much larger now that these numbers, you would have to lock in. It would just take a lot more to get the price. The last time this happened, the price went up significantly. So I'm comparing two different things right here. Can the faucet contract get this high? Yes. If it did, again, would the price be back at, 100, 150, whatever dollars, almost $200? Would it ever go that high again? Well, they would have to lock up probably a lot more tokens in the faucet, or they would have to lock up more tokens in another ecosystem. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. Supply is constantly expanding. So to be able to, when I hear people say things like, oh, I think the Drip price could do 3 figures, again, over $100, it's like, okay, do you understand how much more tokens are going to have to get removed from the market? I recently heard someone say, and I'll touch on this project here in a minute. Someone said there's a new community project coming out, and they genuinely believed that it could cause this drip price to go to 4 figures. And I hear that and I'm thinking to myself, okay, anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. But what is the likelihood of it going, like the amount of tokens, you've got to convince people to delay gratification for so long and lock up more tokens, a significant amount of tokens. I just don't know how that could be possible. But keep in mind, I believe investing, that's my hypothesis. That's my thesis. My thesis is I don't think it's going to $100 again. My thesis is I don't think it's going to go to $1,000 again. But I'm not going to just sell out of drip in the event that it happens. You've always got to invest understanding that what if I'm wrong? How can I win even if I'm wrong? How can I be right even if I'm wrong? And that goes to my current strategy today. Now, I want to point this out right here. This little blip right here, we have seen a big pop in the drip token price. There's been a lot of announcements. And if some of this stuff comes true, then that could be good for the ecosystem. I don't think the price is going to do what people are predicting, but it could be good for the ecosystem overall. But there's been a lot of promises. I mean, listen, back in October of last year, we're talking last year. We're talking almost a year ago. We were talking about and the challenge I have with drip is the community never calls into question development. Like January or February of this year, we were supposed to have a brand new drip website. It hasn't happened. January, February of this year, we were supposed to have a brand new roadmap for drip published. To my knowledge, that still hasn't happened. I know they're talking about it, but it has still not happened. We were supposed to have, all these partnerships. A BetFury partnership was supposed to happen. That has never happened. That was months and months ago. Scratch-offs were supposed to happen 3-4 months ago. Maybe 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. Somewhere in there. It still has not happened. So I'm not telling you there's not more development coming, but I understand that a lot of people believe in hype, and we just are seeing less and less development actually come true. So watching all of this is what led me initially. Here I'm going to tell you what my current strategy is with drip, and I'm going to tell you what I changed. And then I'm also going to share with you kind of a revelation that I had that, I'm going to share a revelation I had about promoting drip and what I'm doing with that as well. Because I'm not currently promoting drip. You will not see a referral link below this video, and I'll explain why. And then it may not be what you think. And then I'm going to share with you, a little bit more about what I'm investing in. So right now, I initially started withdrawing everything. Like every day I was withdrawing. I probably withdrew for, I don't know, at least a month straight, just to make certain that I got, all my funds out and everything. And I'm way in profit on drip. And then I kept watching the price, and I looked at, I didn't actually go and listen to anything in the AMAs, but I looked at some of the YouTubers that are pro drip to see what are people saying now. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you have to play the market, not the project. And people just want to believe in this project. So it's going to, look at this. The price is up to $8. When this morning it was $7.30 something. So I stopped withdrawing completely. And I decided, you know what? I don't want to dump the price. I don't want to just keep withdrawing and keep dumping the price. Because I think there's some enormous drip whales. Some of them are very public. I mean, you can look up wallet addresses. I think some of that is already happening. Because they're in such profit. I mean, just enormous profit. You never hear the OGs talking about, man, we believe this project is going to 4 figures. We believe it's going to 3 figures. We're going to go put in a brand new, $250,000 investment. I made $1 million in drip, but I'm not going to put another, $100,000 into it. I made $2 million in drip, but I'm not going to put another, $100,000 into it. If you thought it was going to go to 4 figures, then why not? Because I think most people understand that everything has a lifespan in this space. So these projects specifically. So the price is going to continue to drop. So it's like we need to get our funds out. I feel like that's where people are at. For me personally, I don't want to dump price, but I still want to be able to take profit. So I debated, okay, do I do 50-50 or what? And I'll tell you what I'm doing now. Every day I take a picture of this price, literally on my phone. It's very low tech. I take a picture. 24 hours later, when I've gotten about 1% out, I take another picture. If the second picture is higher, I claim. If it is lower, I compound. And I just base that every 24 hours. And so the idea is I'm selling when the price is high. I'm compounding when the price is low. And if the price starts dumping several days in a row, I just compound. And that way I'm not totally dumping the price, or at least I'm not the main person dumping the price, right? That's kind of my idea, my strategy there. Now, I no longer have BREEP tokens. I haven't had BREEP tokens probably since my last video that I put up, I think in June. And the reason is because even though I have referrals, I'm not earning anything from these referrals because I just did not feel great about what the price was going to do from here. And I didn't, so many promises. Like, I know people are like, oh, the developers are great. Oh, this person is great. That person is great. And I just thought, no one's taking ownership. No one's explaining, hey, we've had this delay and here's why and here's what we're going to do next. And they're just letting announcements go, and no one's holding people accountable. And if you go into the Telegram and ask questions, they're going to ban you. If you go into Telegram and say, hey, can we get an update on this? Can we get an update on this? They're going to call you a futter. No one wants to just discuss the freaking project. I've made money. Just discuss the freaking project. Just have a honest discussion. And no one really wants to do that. And so I just felt like I didn't feel great about where it was going. And I thought, at this point, I'm making money. I'm personally not going to, promote this project and just because referrals just pull more money out of the faucet. It just gets more money it puts more money in my pocket or whoever the promoter is. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to just sell my BREEP tokens. And what that does is even if someone uses my buddy address, it doesn't allow me to earn any rewards. So at this point, everything in the wallet is just what I'm compounding and what I'm withdrawing. And again, if someone wants to promote it, you want to use somebody's buddy address, go for it. Go knock yourself out. That's not a problem. By the way, just because I'm not using a buddy address, there's rewards still getting paid. It's just going up to somebody else. They're rolling up. I'm just not personally pulling funds out of the ecosystem myself. And again, I say this, and the people who, hate drip can't believe that I'm not withdrawing everything and that sort of thing. That's just not who I am, ladies and gentlemen. The truth is always somewhere in the middle. Try to be objective. You realize what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to tell you where I'm putting my funds. But first, let me say this. I'm looking at drip now thinking, okay, I think the price is going to trend downward. But it doesn't mean that the community can't cause it to plateau or pump it momentarily for a while or a few days or a few weeks. So, is this a stable coin? No. Is it a store of value? Never. You can't make something a store of value. The whole reason Bitcoin got created is because the U.S. dollar's getting inflated away. They're increasing the supply of the U.S. dollars too fast. So that's part of the reason Bitcoin got created in the first place. So trying to grab hold of the super high inflationary token and thinking it's going to be some sort of store of value, that's not going to happen. The faucet's not a store of value. But I want to be able to still, obviously, if the thing's going to go on, and it doesn't mean that more development can't happen. Like, there is always the possibility of more development. So I meant to touch on a community development. There's a whole community out there. They're talking about doing this NFT project. Now, I will tell you, I think that project in the short term is kind of mechanically, it's what drip needs. People are basically they're having people, if I understand it right, use their drip to buy NFTs. And then those NFTs are going to be able to produce kind of their own return. But the idea is you're tying up drip tokens. They're giving you a way to dry drip tokens up, pull drip tokens off of the circulating supply. Long term, you still have the same issue. Long term, drip's still going to come back to you and that sort of thing. It gets dripped into your faucet. Long term, you have the same outcome. But in the short term or the medium term, they're going to pull some of the, hopefully if the project is successful, they'll pull some of that liquid drip out there off the market and they'll essentially lock it up and or burn. If they burned it, if they send it to the burn address, that would be epic. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't think that's the key. I don't think that's what they're going to do with it. But if they send it to the burn address, that could be epic. I like the idea of the community doing stuff if they want to, because I don't think the developer has too much on their plate, period. Any tech entrepreneur who's a part-time digital entrepreneur can have a brand new website spun up. 72 hours. Bam, done. It is not a big deal. But supposedly there's more and more developers getting hired all the time. It's not making sense. That part doesn't make sense to me. So what am I doing? What am I investing in? Lately, specifically in a bear market, I am looking to still invest in some passive income projects, but I'm looking at stuff that has a longer lifespan, meaning the tokenomics of the project, the economics of the project will not automatically cause the project to end. Drip was always going to end up with a bigger and bigger and bigger token supply eventually. That was always going to be the case. More and more. The more people who are withdrawing profits, the more people withdrawing profits, the more people in profit will ultimately drive the price down. Why? How do you get profit? You sell the token. If you have enough people selling the token, the price is going to go down. For me personally, I'm looking at projects that are going to have a longer lifespan, if you will. Right now, I'm looking at a project where they're going to be doing a free air token drop, and I don't know what's going to happen there. So I'm putting funds in a couple of different projects. If you've seen my email course on how to earn $1,000 per day, if you've seen that course, then you'll know one project, right? But if you want to find out a new project that I'm looking at right now, I'll put the end screen up here for you to take a look at. Hey, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.